Hi, I'm Elaine Harding. Welcome to my blog stampwithelaine.com. Today's project is this one. It's an Easter card made with the double zigzag fold when you open it. It's really not as difficult as it looks. To make this card, we'll need the Wildly Happy stamp set and the Easter Promise stamp set, a card base in mint macaron. It's half an A4 sheet cut at 10 inches by 6 inches. That's 25.4 by 15.2 centimeters and folded in half. I'm using the newly released Ornate Garden Specialty Designer Series paper. This is a pack of 12 by 12 inch papers, 2 each of 6 double-sided designs. On the back there are some foiled designs as well. The one we're going to be using is this one, mint macaron with the gold foiling. This forms part of the main card and it's cut at 6 inches by 12 inches, and then afterwards I cut a 1/16 of an inch off, as you can see, so that when you adhere it and fold it inside the card, it's not going to jut out at the ends here. I'm going to refer to this piece as Designer Series Paper A, and then you need a second Designer Series Paper B, which is just the plain white gold foil, and that will go concertina onto the mint macaron one. And this has been cut at 8 inches by 4 inches, and in metric that's 20.3 by 10.2. For the front of the card you need a So Saffron layer and a mint macaron layer. I'll call this layer 1 in the So Saffron, and that's been cut at 5 3/4 inches by 4 3/4 inches. In metric that's 14.6 by 12.1 centimeters. Layer 2 for the card front is in mint macaron. That's 5 5/8 by 4 5/8. That's 14.3 by 11.7 centimeters. Layer 3 is in So Saffron. It's 4 1/8 by 2 3/4. That's 10.5 by 7 centimeters. And layer 4 is Whisper White for stamping on. That's 4 inches by 2 5/8 inches. In metric that's 10.2 by 6.7. For the inside of the card, on these panels here, we will need 4 pieces in mint macaron. Layer 1, that's 2 7/8 by 1 7/8. In metric that's 7.3 by 4.8 centimeters. Layer 2, you also need 4 pieces, 2 3/4 by 1 3/4, and that's to go on top there. That's for stamping on for the inside of the card. Then for the back of the card you need 2 layers, one in So Saffron, 4 1/2 by 3 1/2. In metric that's 11.4 by 8.9, and layer 2 for stamping on, that's 4 3/8 by 3 3/8. That in metric that's 11.1 by 8.6. Mint macaron ink, Tuxedo Black Memento ink, and stamping blend combos in So Saffron, mint macaron and smoky slate, and also just the dark pumpkin pie, petal pink and the light in Pool Party. Ornate 3D embossing folder and gilded gems. Now we can concentrate on some scoring with the Ornate Specialty DSP A, the 12 inch by 6 inch one. You've cut off a 1/16 of an inch at the long side, so then you offer it up with the long side on top and you score at with the thicker end of the stylus at 2 inches, 4 inches, 6 inches, 8 inches and 10 inches, so every 2 inches. In metric that will be 5, 10.2, 15.2, 20.3 and 25.4 centimeters. Bring in my trimmer, so align the right edge of your paper, and that's 1.5 inches, and cut from the 2-inch score line mark down to the 10-inch score line mark. And if you look at your trimmer, there is a line on the side of your trimmer, so you can use that as a guide to help you cut in the right place. So I'll cut it up to the 2-inch score line and do the same for the other side. So rotate your paper 180 degrees and align it at the 1.5 inch mark and cut from the 2-inch score line down to the 10-inch score line. Next, you want to make incisions at the 3-inch, 5-inch, 7-inch and 9-inch mark, top and bottom. So basically you're cutting at the 1.5 inch mark up to 1 inch, which is 1/2 inch, and 1/2 inch down from 4.5 inches down to 5 inches. So turn my trimmer round, and with the long side on top you align the left edge at the 3-inch mark and you cut inches up to 1 inch, and from 4.5 inches down to 5 inches. And you repeat for all the other panels. So I'm going to align that at 5 inches now for the next one. Cut from 1.5 inches up to 1 inch, and then from 4.5 inches down to 5 inches. Slide the paper along to 7 inches and repeat the cuts. And then at 9 inches. I just had a thought, actually, if you're doing the top cut, you should cut 1 inch down to 1.5 inches, which is down the edge of this, and then on the bottom one you cut from 5 up to 4.5. Right, now we want to get rid of this centre bit, so you cut between these two cut lines. So that creates your aperture. Now you can burnish the score lines. So I fold it in half first. Then fold that back and fold this forward and burnish it. Turn it over the other side. Fold it back and then forward. You glue it to the card, it should look like that. I'm going to apply adhesive to this panel. Make sure it's right at the end. Apply adhesive onto this side as well. Bring the cover down on top of that and just make any adjustments you need. Then set that aside. Bring in my scoreboard again, and on the DSP B piece, the 8-inch by 4-inch piece, you score at 2 inches, again using the thick end of your stylus at 2 inches, 4 inches and 6 inches. And in metric that will be 5 centimeters, 10.2 and 15.2 centimeters. Now you want to fold these in the opposite direction to the larger piece on the inside of your card, with the gold foiling showing on the top. Burnish the score lines as well. So basically this is how it goes. You insert that into the incisions you made on your main designer series piece, and that's how you make your double zigzag mechanism. I'll emboss this. This is slightly larger than the embossing folder, so what I'm going to have to do is emboss as far as I can and then switch it over and emboss the rest. So that I don't lose it, I'm going to adhere that to the front of my card straight away. Adhere the matte layer onto the card front so we know which is the front and which is the back. And I'll stamp the word Happy Easter first on the card, then I can gauge where to stamp my flowers. Swap ink pads to Tuxedo Black Memento ink. I'll colour with the So Saffron, Pumpkin Pie and Mint Macaron. I'll just do the one, otherwise it will take forever. With a bullet end, I'm just going to colour the inside of the, well, I don't know what these are, crocuses I think. And then dark So Saffron. So I've finished off the colouring. Put a outline with the light pool party round the image to make it pop. So now we can glue that onto the front of our card. Bring back my Tuxedo Black Memento ink. For the first panel, I'm going to stamp the crocuses. For the second panel, I'll stamp the rabbit. Fill in with the crocuses at the top. For the third one, I'm going to stamp the cross at the top here. Fill in with crocuses on here and here. The last panel, I'm going to, oh that got smudged, so turn it over and stamp the sentiment in the middle in Mint Macaron and fill in with the crocuses at the bottom and at the top. Now it's a question of colouring, so with Petal Pink I'm going to do the bunny's ears on the inside and also the tip of its nose. I'm using the dark smoky slate to do a bit of shading and then come in with the light smoky slate, and I'm not going to do a lot of colouring. I'm not going to cover the whole of the bunny because essentially I just want him to be white. Next I'm going to colour the cross in dark So Saffron and the leaves in Mint Macaron. Next, with the dark Pumpkin Pie, I'm just going to colour the inside of the crocuses. And off camera I'll colour the crocuses in So Saffron and Mint Macaron combos, and I'll be back. Now that all my pieces are coloured, I will now glue it to the matte layers. Bring back my card and I'm just going to glue this onto the panels inside. I'm only going to do the first one because I just want to make sure that it's in the right position. And I can take that out and do the rest. Then I can reinsert it in here. Now I'm going to cut off about 1/2 inch of washi tape. This is about 1 inch wide, this washi tape, and I'll need to get my tweezers and pinch it, and then I'm going to put this on the inside of the fold along here. Can you see that? So that it will keep it in place. So I'm going to put the fold of the washi tape in there, and then shut the card so that it keeps when you open it out, you don't accidentally pop the rest of the card out. And then do the same at the top. The last thing to do is the back of the card. You need somewhere to write on. So that's a matte layer for the back. And just one last bit of stamping to do. Tuxedo Black Memento ink again, and a little at the top, and then I'll fit the flower around that. Unfortunately, I've stamped my cross a little bit crooked, but I'm only human. So I'm colouring the cross in Dark So Saffron. And while I've got this out, I might as well do the other bits in the Dark So Saffron. Followed by the Light So Saffron. Pumpkin pie for the inside. The Dark So Saffron, Light So Saffron. I didn't need the mint macaron combo after all, I only used the dark. Now I'm going to outline this with the light Pool Party pen. And then glue this piece to the back. And complete the card by adding the gilded gemstones. So there you have it. A double zigzag panel card. I hope you've enjoyed today's tutorial. All the measurements will be on my blog, so I'll give you a link to the blog post. You'll find the supplies I use below this video in the Show More section. I'm also on Facebook, Pinterest or Instagram. Thanks for watching, and I'll be back soon. Bye!